Hey everyone, it's Rich Mama with our next module about using your credit cards wisely. So let's get started. So today we're going to talk about how you can use your credit cards wisely. So sometimes we talk about not using our credit cards and paying down credit card debt, but we do want to reiterate that responsible use of your credit cards can lead to many financial advantages. So here's some tips on how to manage your credit cards wisely. You want to start with debit cards. Now, a debit card is not a credit card, but a debit card operates like a credit card in the fact that it's a piece of plastic. You don't need cash. The transaction is processed immediately, but it does restrict your spending to what you have in your bank account. So you can have the convenience of a credit card, but it's really taking from cash that you have. So you're not borrowing or accruing interest or coming up with the possibility that you might spend more than you actually have and can't pay off your bill. Tip 2, well, this kind of goes with what we've been talking about all through the whole course, is only buy what you can afford. So when it comes to using a credit card, you want to be more cautious. Don't use a credit card to go out and buy the high-end items. A credit card does not expand your monthly budget by $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, whatever it is. It's not meant to put more money in your pocket because ultimately you pay a lot for that. So really, when you have to buy an expensive item, you want to wait till you have the funds to buy them. We talked about short-term savings earlier. That's why it's so important to have a short-term saving account. Now, if you do buy an expensive item, call it quits for the credit card for that. If you use a credit card to buy something expensive like a new TV or laptop, force yourself to stop using that credit card until the item is paid off in full. Put the credit card away. Don't keep it in your wallet. You can put it in a drawer. You can put it in your desk. You just want to get it out of sight, out of mind. If you have a real problem with credit cards, I have heard of people putting the credit card in a little Ziploc bag, filling that bag with water, and putting the bag in the freezer and freezing it. You're going to be pretty desperate if you're out there defrosting your credit card or trying to break it out of the ice. So just remember, on credit cards, small purchases add up. I mean, you might say, okay, I know I didn't go out and buy a TV this month, but even small purchases on your credit card can add up. So sometimes we get the habit of using our credit card for groceries or just, here and there. Well, that can really add up, and if you haven't set aside the money to pay that off in full, guess what? You're going to wind up carrying a balance for things like groceries, which you really should be paying for with cash. So things like lunch, a tank of gas, snacks, movies. I mean, especially a tank of gas, that can be $50, $60 now. I mean, that's a lot of cash to have in the pocket, a little more than lunch. So a lot of times you use the credit card, but 4 weeks of that could be over $250. That can really add up. So another important thing with credit cards is really keep track of your purchases, because especially if you're not getting a monthly bill in the mail, maybe you're doing it online, you kind of lose your connection with what you're buying. So you need to somehow take the time to track what you purchase, either by writing it down in your little tracking notebook or spreadsheet, or going and once a month, twice a month, really reviewing your purchases to help remind you of where you spent the money. You might see that, wow, I spent it went to a restaurant 5 times on my credit card, about $40 a pop. That's $200. If you don't actually take the time to look at that and see the total on your balance increases as you use your credit card, you're going to get caught in the trap. But once you see the total on your balance increase as you use a credit card, hopefully you're going to feel less of a need to use the card continuously. Another tip is pay off the card in full. Whenever possible, really, you want to commit to being debt-free. So you want to pay off that card every month. Sometimes, especially if you get paid twice a month, like many people do, maybe you want to pay your credit card twice a month. You want to look at the purchases to date, or according to your billing cycle, pay your billing cycle twice a month and pay that. What you don't want to do is carry a balance over the next billing cycle, because you will be charged interest on that. So you want to align the payments up with your billing cycle, whatever that is for your credit card. If you have a problem with the billing cycle, you could probably go to your credit card company and see if they might change it, so it might align more closely with your actual pay check. So that's something else you can do. Now, so paying off your credit card is going to keep you out of debt. You're going to save money on interest and fees. It's also going to help raise your credit score, which is a good thing. So here's some questions to ask yourself before you go pull out that plastic. Do you need to buy this now, or can I wait till later? If I do buy it, how long will and I use a credit card, how long will it take to pay it off? Really, you don't want to buy things on credit. So you want to not think like that. You want to say, if I buy this thing, can I pay it off in full? How many times, ask yourself also, how many times do you use your credit card every month? Do you have the money to pay all this stuff off by the due date? Or if you're spending it on your credit card, like buying your groceries on your credit card, stuff that you need, have you sort of unconsciously spent the cash in your account someplace else? You don't want to get into that trap. You want to be sure to pay off your credit card in full every month. So here are the things you can do. If you do want the convenience of not having to carry cash around, start with a debit card instead of a credit card. Watch your small purchases. Keep track of your transactions either by writing them down in your spreadsheet or checking your statement a couple times a month.